is very apropos for what we're going to talk about today. This is Tim Stewart, Giant Strike Talk, Power of Online Big Blue LLC. I want to talk about Twitter stupidity in the Giant universe, how some people are saying that the Giants in some regards might be better without Malik Nabers in the lineup. Yes, that is true. And I want to talk about an idiotic article I read about how Giant season ticket holders, it's all your fault for Daniel Jones not playing better at home. Oh my God. It's terrible. All the things that we have to go through, the people that actually pay to be in the stands. Maybe I got an idea about Daniel Jones.
What did you say?
I didn't stutter. I said, pop your titty out his mouth and stop babying him.
It's been year 6. I'm done with it. I'm done with Twitter. And hey, look, here's an apology letter for Daniel Jones. And then the other 3 weeks that he sucked, we didn't have that apology letter. But now we have to go with the tides. And the tides right now are blowing in the direction of Daniel Jones. He played a great first half. I've said it a million times. He looked like an NFL quarterback in the first half, not so much in the second half because the Dable went into the Dean Smith prevent offense. Yes, and I know Dean Smith is basketball, but that's what North Carolina used to do back in the day before the shot clock. So outside of everyone telling me I'm so negative, even though people that are on Twitter are probably the most toxic and negative people they are, and a certain segment of them, certain segment of the Giants fans on Twitter are just funny as shit. And there's just certain people that just want to be negative. And I love James Williams. I love his thought process because James has always said, anytime you see a picture on any media account from James Williams, that's James. So he puts his face to a name to his comments. And you have people on Giant Twitter that are just cowards and can't do that. So I'm perusing Twitter because I actually mainly go on Twitter more to get my DMs. And someone sent me a tweet and I nearly fell over. And this tweet basically went into the fact how the Giants may have been better off on Sunday. And the reason why they won is because Malik Nabers wasn't in the lineup and it was going to force Daniel Jones to look for other wide receivers. I am not shitting you. That's what I saw. And I had to go back and read it, and I had to go back and read some of the comments. And I'm looking at it, and people are like, yeah, because he's gonna facilitate the ball to other. They don't use facilitate because they're not that smart. He is gonna move the ball around to other players. So it might not have been a bad thing for Malik to be out. So we took a wide receiver 6 overall because we need to get Daniel Jones a weapon. But now some people think the weapon is the cause of the problem for Daniel Jones throwing to that guy 45 times in 3 games.
I don't know. It seems like bad things are always happening to me. Like I have bad luck or something.
Son, you don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Those are the bad things that happens to the Giants, the Giant fan base, because there's a segment of them, they're dumbasses. Because they literally put ink to paper. I know you can't do that anymore. They literally took keystroke to screen, like I would turn that around, and said that the Giants may have been better off. And the reason they won is because Malik Nabers wasn't in the game. Just make it stop. Can we just make it stop for a minute? This is why this fan base is so divided, and this is why this fan base is so against each other. Because of the fact that you see stupidity like that, because of the fact that they are using everything in their powers to make their conversion of Daniel Jones into an average quarterback into something that he's not.
Make the bad man stop.
No, I can't. Because it's truthful. You want to talk about Daniel Jones being a franchise quarterback. You're talking about Daniel Jones being a franchise quarterback in year 6. You talk about how you had to build an offensive line, find a running game, get him a wide receiver, but then you have a segment of the fan base saying it's a good idea that our star wide receiver after 4 weeks wasn't in the game because it would allow Daniel Jones to target other players. It's funny, with Malik Nabers on the field, you could still target other players. I know that's a shocking concept for a guy here for 6 years. I love it because I was talking to OGR Sports. And like I said, I really don't go through Twitter because it's just a mind-numbing experience. And I laugh because OGR Sports was like, well, Cop Pizzle is calling you out on Twitter about Daniel Jones' good game. And I just thought to myself, first of all, the guy's a moron. And I used to like Cop, but he's just gone into Looney Tunes moron land. And even if he was calling me out, I wouldn't know how to find it on Twitter anyways. And second of all, I wouldn't fucking care. Because of the fact that he is a problem with the fan base. People say that my negativity is a problem. I've said this a million times before. I'm not a fan channel. I'm an NFL football channel that dissects the New York Football Giants and talks about the good and the bad. I had a young subscriber back in 2022 go through some of my videos, and I love how people say, well, you were negative during that 7-2 run. And this kid literally went through the videos and said, Tim, there was a 15-minute video. You talked positive about the Giants for 12 minutes. You spent 2 minutes talking about what they could do better, and everyone says you were negative. And he went through like 30 videos and he found the same thing. Maybe the problem isn't my negativity. Maybe the problem is your stupidity. And maybe the problem that you can't figure out what the difference is between someone giving commentary and then someone being a fan channel. Now, I ain't going to lie. Knicks Unleashed is a fan channel. Because I am beyond a New York Knicks fan. Same way I'm beyond a New York Met fan. Good or bad or indifferent. So that's, if I did a Met channel, that would be a fan channel. But considering the fact that I played football, I worked in the league, I worked in the Arena League, this was always dictated as being an honest assessment of the team. And how everyone the pendulum swings every week. The ankles break every week with people jumping on and off the bandwagon. I am consistent. I tell you what I see. I'm honest about what I see. And if you don't like it, that's okay. There's plenty of other channels out there. You can take shots of fireball. Thank you. You can take shots of fireball. Because that's not what I do. And that's not what I want to do. And then we talk about being a segregated fan base. I've said this a million times before. This fan base is never going to come together until Daniel Jones is gone. Because we no longer have a fixture to rally around. And I love it how people are like, well, Daniel, this article, and I'm not even going to give the article credit because they're pretty stupid. Daniel Jones plays better when you're not there. If Daniel Jones can't play in front of the home crowd in New York, he doesn't deserve to be here. You had Yankees like Ed Whitson that couldn't play in New York because of the fact that they couldn't take the pressure. And now now they have to come out with an article about how Daniel Jones is better on the road and home. And I know it's more of a tongue-in-cheek article. It's more of a sarcasm because it even says, by conclusion, Daniel Jones doesn't like playing in front of you season ticket holders. Well, you know what? Even that is a joke. Fuck you. Why don't you go out and buy some season tickets? I've been a season ticket holder since 76. I'm not going to have some snot-nosed asshole tell me that I'm problem even in jest because a quarterback can't pop the titty out of his mouth and play football. Even in jest, it pisses me off. You want to know why? Because of the thousands upon thousands of dollars I have spent to support this team, to watch this team. You have a Gen X, Gen Y, or whomever writing a stupid article about how he performs better on the road because he can't handle the pressure of New York? Really? Because he hasn't thrown a touchdown in the stadium in, 600 plus days? And they talk about, is there really home field disadvantage? And they talk about Eli Manning. And I love it. He's a great quarterback who played his entire career at MetLife, Eli Manning. Hey, dumbass. Eli Manning played the majority of his career and is in the Meadowlands at time, most of the time. He's basically split his time. So you're going to talk about his 118 games at home when he played the majority of his time, or how many games it was at home. I forget how many games it was. I'm so fucking fired up. But you are going to talk about how he played his games at MetLife when he played a lot of his games in the Meadowlands. There's a fucking thing called Google. Used to be called books. But a lot of people aren't smart enough to understand what a book or an encyclopedia is. Look it up. And don't sit there and say, well, he played majority of his career at MetLife. Or no, he played his entire career at MetLife. Really? It used to be called the Meadowlands. He did play the majority of his career at MetLife. I will say that, but that's not what this article says. He played his career at MetLife. Forgot about the years that he played at the Meadowlands. Forgot about the Super Bowl they won when they were in the Meadowlands. But we forget about those things because we're morons. And we're not smart fans. It just pisses me off that you literally have a segment of the fan base that alienates the other segment of the fan base because of the fact that they have to be right about Daniel Jones. Never seen this before in the history of watching football since 1976. I have never seen this. This is a rant against stupidity. And that's all I'm going to say. It has nothing to do with negativity. This has to do with stupidity. And I've said this a million times before. You say something stupid, I'm going to call you out. Oh. New York Knicks Unleashed comes out tomorrow. Going to be basically turning on the channel, courtside, tomorrow, Wednesday night at the Knicks game. Knicks preseason game. I think it's the Charlotte. I don't even know who the Knicks are playing. I think it's the Hornets. Don't even care. Don't even care who they're playing. I'm just glad to be back at MSG. Because you know what? Even when the Knicks are bad, even when the Knicks are going through the doldrums, it's a hell of a lot more fun to watch than have to deal with a lot of this stupidity. Oh, this was a fun video. Make sure you also go check out Get Off My Lawn to Mad Rams Objectives. That one just dropped today. And as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever you're doing that bell. You're on the way. That'd be awesome.